welcome to another session with Eco Warriors Body and Soul to help us get through these difficult times. So with these difficult times, it's really hard to become lost in the news and the media and other people's opinions. So today I really want to try and cultivate inner self and inner strength on the mat so we can take this off the mat. So before we start, grab your mat if you haven't already, and maybe you want to take a block or use something that looks like this, and also a blanket as well if you are going to join me for the relaxation at the end. And once you've got those things, we're going to come down onto our mat and find a comfortable position. So maybe that's cross-legged or coming into maybe a hero's pose, whatever works for you. And then just starting to close the eyes. I'm going to start to ground the sit bones into the mat. Lift up the spine. Relax the shoulders away from our ears. Lift up the crown of the head and bring the awareness to our breath. So here, not changing the breath, but just becoming aware of each inhale and exhale. Just really setting that intention to cultivate your inner self and inner strength on the mat. And just starting to deepen and lengthen each breath. As you inhale, feeling the belly rise, and as you exhale, allow the belly to fall. Maybe placing a hand on your belly. Gently taking the hand away from the belly, placing it back on the legs, and gently starting to open the eyes. So we're going to start with some pranayama today. So we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. If you're familiar with that, then go ahead. So we're going to do some of this just to create some balance. So we're going to keep our left hand somewhere comfy. We're going to use the right thumb to close our right nostril, and our right ring finger to close the left nostril. We're going to close the eyes, sit up nice and straight, relax the shoulders, and close the right nostril with the right thumb. And inhale through the left nostril. We're going to close both nostrils, and then open the right, exhaling through the right side. Inhale through the right nostril, closing the right nostril with the right thumb, and exhale through the left. Just doing a few rounds of these with your own breath. releasing the hand back down to the leg, and just coming back to normal breathing. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then just gently starting to open the eyes. We're going to come around now to a tabletop position on the mat. Fingers are really spread. Shoulders over elbows over wrists. Knees hip distance apart. Maybe closing the eyes again. We're going to do a few rounds of our cat-cow. So as we inhale, we reach the chest forward, arching our back. And as we exhale, we round the back, draw the chin down towards the chest. Just doing a few of these with your own breath. And then slowly coming back to tabletop. We're going to start to bring our awareness into our core by engaging the core, and we're going to send the right leg out behind us. Try to keep the leg parallel to the mat and just allow that right hip to drop slightly. Toes are flexed down, and we're going to bring our left hand out in front. So it's like we're being pulled in two different directions, and we're bringing all that energy, all that awareness into the core. So feeling strong in this pose, breathing through the nose. There's no tension in our neck, we're just gently gazing down at the mat. And then slowly releasing the hand and knee back down to the mat. Again, awareness on the core as we send the left leg out behind. Check it's roughly parallel to the mat and just dip that left hip to the left. And then right arm, if you can, comes out. Breathing. And then slowly hand and knee back down to the mat. Take a deep inhale through the nose. As you exhale, tuck your toes, tuck your chin, and lift to a downward facing dog. Our feet are hip distance apart. And we're going to keep a slight bend in our knees. We're going to engage the core, slight bend in the elbows, and fingers really spread on the mat. We're going to lift the hips as we draw the heels down, gazing in between the feet or up to the belly button. Take any movements that you need, maybe stepping up and down, or moving the head from side to side. And then deep inhale through the nose as you gaze forward, and slowly come to walk to the front of your mat into ragdoll pose. So really spread the toes, staying strong in the lower half of the body. Take the elbows and really just allow that upper body to melt down into the mat. Deep breath. Releasing the neck and the head down. inhale as we raise our hands up overhead in prayer. And exhale, forward bend. Inhale to a halfway lift, gazing forward with a flat back. Exhale, step or jump into a plank. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, drop the knees, chest and chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. And then inhale, look forward, bend the knees, jump or step to the front of the mat to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale into prayer. Inhale up. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, jump or step into your plank. From here, either drop the knees, chest and chin, or bend the elbows coming into chaturanga, core is strong. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra, slight bend in your elbows. Exhale, tuck the chin, lift the hips coming into downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. And then inhale, look forward, bend the knees, jump or step to the front of the mat to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale into prayer. Releasing the hands down, just taking a few breaths. And then we're going to come to the front of the mat. And we're going to take a step back with our left foot. So a nice wide stance. The left foot is turned in so much as the hips are facing forward. We're going to bend our right leg so it's parallel roughly to the mat, making sure we can still see the toes and the knee isn't coming out or in. And we're going to inhale our arms up. Maybe the palms stay apart if that's more comfortable on the shoulders and the neck, or we can join them together in prayer. We're keeping strong with our back leg, grounding the knife edge into the mat. Our core's engaged and we're reaching through the fingertips, finding that strength in Warrior One. We're going to bring our hands to heart center. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, really engage the core and take a twist, bringing the left arm to the right knee. Fingertips are facing forward and we're squeezing the palms together as we gaze towards our right elbow. Strong through the feet. Breathing. Quad is strong. And then deep inhale through the nose as we come back up to Warrior One. And exhale, release. Coming to the front of the mat, we're going to take a step back with the right leg. Rotate the right foot so that the hip bones face forward. Bend your left leg. And then inhale up, warrior one. Hands apart or together. And really find the strength in this warrior as we sink down rather than lunging forward. So really reach high with the waist up and down with the waist, grounding through the feet. Bring the hands to heart center. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale, twist. Hands together in prayer. Being careful here of the knee. And then inhaling up, warrior one. Exhale, release. Coming to the front of the mat again, we're going to take a step back with the left foot, this time a much shorter stance. And the hand position, we can either come into reverse prayer, squeezing the palms together, or we can take the elbows, whichever one works for us. And we're going to inhale here to lengthen our spine. And as we exhale, we're going to bend from the hips, bringing the belly down towards the front thigh. We're going to relax the head and neck. Bring your awareness to the hips and start to bring the left hip slightly forward, right hip slightly back, so they're in line. Staying strong in the feet. Breathing. And then slight bend in the front knee as we bring our hands down onto the mat, or maybe we have a block that we want to place the hands on. And we're going to start to shift the body weight forward, slowly lifting the left leg and straightening the right leg. The upper body is reaching forward. We're engaging the core. We're strong with that standing leg. And we're going to rotate the left leg in. So we're going to drop that left hip, flex the toes. Breathing. Slowly bringing the left foot back down and slowly coming up, bringing the head up last. Coming to the front of the mat, we're going to take a step back with the right leg, hips facing forward, maybe bringing the hands together in prayer behind the back, squeezing the palms together. Take an inhale to lift the chest and exhale, fold. Squeezing the palms together if they're in reverse prayer, relaxing our head and neck down. And then centering those hips, so left hip back, right hip slightly forward. Breathing through the nose. And then slight bend in the knee as we release the hands down. And then this time, so hands can be on a block or the mat. We're going to shift the body weight forward again, this time straightening the right leg behind us. The upper body is reaching forward, so we have a flat back. Belly is engaged. And this time, drop the right hip slightly to the right, internally rotating the thigh. Toes pointing down. Breathing. And then slowly slowly release the right foot down. And then slowly peeling yourself up, bringing the head up now. Coming to the front of your mat. The feet are hip distance apart, and we're really going to spread the toes, ground through the feet. Make out we have something in between the thighs that we're squeezing together, and we're going to sit down like we're sitting into a chair. Sitting back slightly into our heels, grounding the tailbone down. We're going to bring the hands up, chair posture. Reaching through the fingertips, relaxing the shoulders. Strong through the core. We're going to place our left hand in front of our right foot, and we're going to send the right arm up. We're still sitting back into the heels, cores engaged. Take a deep inhale and exhale, twist, left hand comes up. Sitting back in the heels. Inhaling the hands up. Exhale, release. Coming to the front of the mat. Grounding the feet again, spreading the toes. We're going to inhale the arms up. As we exhale, bend from the hips, keeping length in the spine. We're going to come into a forward bend. So maybe the hands are going to come to a block. Maybe onto the mat. Or maybe we're going to take the peace fingers to the big toes. I'm going to relax the head and the neck down. Draw the shoulders away from our ears. Lift up the hips. And then if we have the toes, release the hands from the toes. Place the hands on the mat, shoulder distance apart, fingers spread, and step yourself into a downward facing dog. Hips lifting, heels releasing down. Be careful of the joints, we're not hyperextending through the joints. So from here we're going to come into a plank, so feel free to modify this posture by dropping the knees onto the mat. I'm going to bring the body weight forward, again maybe dropping the knees if you need to. We're going to push back slightly on our heels, engaging the thighs, cores engaged, shoulders over elbows over wrists. And we're reaching forward with the crown of the head. Staying strong through the body. The body is in one line. Deep breath. Dropping the knees if you need to at any time. I'm going to drop the knees now. And we're going to sit back towards the heels, coming into a child's pose. So maybe the hands reach out in front for extended child's pose, or if you prefer, you can bring them by your side. And then slowly making your way onto your belly. You can join the big toes, or if you have a sore lower back, maybe keeping them apart. Forehead or chin on the mat. Hands face down, near the shoulders, elbows drawing in. We're going to take an inhale and come up to cobra. So reaching the chest out in front. Maybe staying here in baby cobra, or reaching the chest further off the mat. So here, really think about the chest coming out in front of you rather than bending backwards. Breathing. And then slowly coming down onto the mat, making a pillow with your hands and tilting the head. And then chin or forehead on the mat. Interlock the hands behind your back and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then take another inhale, coming back up to cobra. Shoulders relaxing away from the ears. Breathing. And then slowly relaxing on the mat, making a pillow with the hands and tilting the head in the opposite direction. And then from here we're going to press into the palms. We're going to push ourselves into a child's pose. Again, maybe extending through the hands or hands by your sides. Maybe coming up onto the fingertips. And then making your way up onto your mat. We're going to come into hero's pose. So if you can sit in between the heels, we're going to come down to this position. Maybe you want to take a block or a blanket or books if you've improvised the block, and come to sit on the block. So really grounding through the sit bones, lifting up the spine and relaxing the shoulders. We're going to take an inhale and raise the hands up. Breathing there. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, bring the right hand behind your back, left hand to the right knee. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to gaze over our right shoulder. Trying, if we can, to not lean into the twist. And then inhaling back up to center. And exhale, twist. Left hand comes behind, right hand to the left knee. Gazing over the left shoulder. Shoulders away from our ears. Inhaling up. And exhale, release. Removing the block if we have a block. Maybe taking a blanket if you need one. And making your way down to lie on your mat for our final relaxation. So just getting nice and comfortable on the mat and just starting to close the eyes. Just giving yourself a body scan, starting from the crown of the head and slowly working down to the toes, and just trying to relax each body part down into the mat and let go of any tension that you might be holding on to. And just let go of any thoughts, any worries or to-do lists, and just allow yourself these final moments of relaxation. gently bringing your awareness back to the mat. Just starting to wiggle the toes and fingers. Giving yourself a big stretch like you're waking up from a deep sleep. Taking a deep inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest. And trying to take some of this inner strength and self that we've created on the mat into our upcoming week. And then just gently rolling over onto one side and gently pressing into the hand to bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position on your mat with your eyes still closed. And then just bringing your hands together in prayer at your forehead to remind us to have good, loving thoughts, and our lips to remind us to have good, loving words, and our heart center to remind us to have good, loving intentions. Namaste.